What if I told you that the most powerful company of the next decade did not build cars, didn't manufacture phones, and doesn't even sell a physical product? Instead, it built something that can write, think, code, design, and even replace millions of jobs. Just 2 years ago, most people had never even heard its name. Today, it's forcing companies worth trillions of dollars to completely change their future. Google panicked. Meta rushed into an AI war. Microsoft invested billions, and governments around the world suddenly realized they might no longer control the most powerful technology ever created. But here is the strangest part. OpenAI was not even supposed to become a business. It started as a non-profit organization created to protect humanity from artificial intelligence. So, how did a small research lab become the company leading the biggest technological revolution since the internet? This is the untold story of OpenAI. Before we understand OpenAI, we first need to understand why the world became desperate for artificial intelligence. For decades, computers could only do exactly what humans told them to do. Nothing more, nothing less. They could calculate numbers, store files, and run software, but they couldn't truly understand language, images, or human creativity. That limitation became one of the biggest problems of the digital age. Every single day, billions of people were creating information faster than humans could ever process it. Emails, documents, videos, research papers, medical records, legal contracts, computer code, the amount of data was exploding. Companies were not looking for faster computer anymore. They wanted machines that could actually think, machines that could understand human language, machines that could solve problems without being programmed line by line. For years, the biggest technology companies tried to solve this puzzle. Google invented billions. Microsoft invested billions. Facebook built massive AI teams. Amazon entered the race. Everyone wanted to build the future, but no one had truly cracked it. Then a small research lab with no giant factories, no consumer products, and far less money than big tech made a breakthrough that shocked the entire world, and almost overnight, everything changed. But before ChatGPT changed the world, OpenAI almost did not survive at all. In fact, the company nearly collapsed before anyone even knew its name. The year was 2015. Artificial intelligence was no longer science fiction. It had become the biggest technological race in human history. Google, Facebook, Microsoft, every tech giant was quickly investing billions of dollars into AI research. But there was one problem, a very dangerous one. What if one company becomes so powerful that it controlled artificial intelligence before anyone else? For some people, that was not just a business problem, it was a threat to humanity itself. One of those people was Elon Musk, along with entrepreneur Sam Altman and several world-class AI researchers. They believed something extraordinary: artificial intelligence should never belong to a single company, it should benefit everyone. That belief gave birth to OpenAI, not as a billion-dollar company, not as a startup, but as a non-profit research lab. Its mission was surprisingly simple: build artificial general intelligence, safely and for all humanity. At first, the world hardly noticed. No flashy product, no advertisements, no massive launch events, just a small group of brilliant researchers working behind closed doors. But inside those offices, something incredible was already beginning. OpenAI was not trying to build a better search engine or a better smartphone. They wanted to build a machine that could actually learn. If they succeeded, it could transform every industry on earth: education, healthcare, finance, law, programming, movies, even scientific research, everything. But there was one problem they had not fully understood. Building the world's smartest AI was unbelievably expensive. Every new experiment needed more computing power, more engineers, more data, more money. And while soon OpenAI realized their original dreams might not survive reality, the money was running out, the competition was moving faster, and one question changed everything. Should OpenAI stay true to its original mission or become something it's promised? It would never become. That decision would completely change the future of artificial intelligence, because the next move did not just save OpenAI, it shocked the entire tech industry. And it's all started with one company willing to risk $10 billion. Microsoft. OpenAI had a dream to build artificial intelligence almost impossible to afford. Massive data centers, thousands of powerful GPUs, the world's best researchers, and billions of dollars. Every new breakthrough cost more than the last one. Very quickly, OpenAI faced a terrifying reality. If they couldn't raise enough money, their mission would die. Then another problem appeared. One of OpenAI's biggest supporters, Elon Musk, walked away. Officially, both sides had different visions for the company's future. Some reports suggested there were disagreements about leadership and strategy. Whatever the exact reason, one thing became clear: OpenAI had just lost one of its most influential founders. Now the company had two choices: stay a non-profit and slowly fall behind, or find a completely new way to survive. In 2020, OpenAI made the most controversial decision. It created a new structure called capped profit. It was not a traditional company, and it was not a normal profit either. Instead, investors could earn limited returns, with OpenAI claimed its original mission would remain protected. It was an experiment, one that had never been tried at this scale before. But changing the structure was only half the battle. They still needed someone willing to invest billions of dollars. Most companies thought the idea was simply too risky, until one company saw something everyone else missed: Microsoft. In 2019, Microsoft invested $1 billion into OpenAI. It was not just an investment, it was a bet on the future of artificial intelligence, and that bet would eventually grow into tens of billions of dollars. With Microsoft's cloud, OpenAI suddenly had something it never had before: unlimited computing power, unlimited ambition, and finally a real chance to change the world. But no one, not even Microsoft, could imagine what was about to happen next. A single product would reach 100 million users, faster than any application in human history. Its name was ChatGPT. November 2022. At first, almost nobody expected anything extraordinary. OpenAI released a simple looking chatbot called ChatGPT. No $1 billion launch event, no flashy advertisement, no worldwide marketing campaign, just a website and a simple message. Try ChatGPT. Then something unbelievable happened within 5 years. Then something unbelievable happened within 5 days. More than 1 million people had signed up. 2 months later, that number exploded to over $100 million users. 2 months later, that number exploded to over 100 million users. Faster than TikTok, faster than Instagram, faster than almost every consumer application in history. The internet had never seen growth like this before. Sudden, students used it for homework, programs used it to write code, lawyers used it to summarize contracts, doctors used it to research, businesses used it to save thousands of hours. Almost overnight, AI became part of everyday life. But the biggest shock was not ChatGPT itself, it was how the world's biggest technology company reacted. Google declared a code red. For the first time, its research business looked vulnerable. Meta accelerated its own AI strategy. Amazon increased AI investments. Startups raised billions. Everyone was suddenly chasing OpenAI. And Microsoft, the company that had believed before almost everyone else, made its biggest move yet. It invested billions more and integrated OpenAI across Windows, Office, Azure, and Bing. This was not just another partnership. It was the beginning of a new technological era. The AI race had officially started and OpenAI was leading it. But success came with a price. The more powerful OpenAI became, the more dangerous. The question became, who control AI? Can it replace human jobs? Can government regulate it? And perhaps the biggest question of all, who will control the future of humanity? Those questions would soon trigger the biggest AI war the world had ever seen. The success of ChatGPT did not just create a revolutionary product. It started a global war, not a war between countries, but a war between the most powerful technology companies on earth. For years, Google had dominated how humans found information, but suddenly, people were not searching anymore. They were asking. For Google, this was not just another competitor, it was an existential threat. A business worth hundreds of billions of dollars was now at risk. Google responded by accelerating its own AI project soon. Gemini entered the race. Meta launched the Llama models. Amazon expanded AI service through AWS. When Elon Musk returned with his own strategy, XAI. Almost overnight, every major technology company was spending billions of dollars to build better AI. Why? Because everyone understood the same thing. Whoever leads AI could shape the future of business, education, healthcare, science, and even national security. But while competitors were trying to catch OpenAI, the company kept moving even faster. New GPT models, smarter reasoning, better coding, voice conversation, image generation, enterprise solution. Every few months, OpenAI raised the standard once again. Then came the biggest question: can AI become smarter than humans? Researchers call it artificial general intelligence or simply AGI. If AGI becomes a reality, it could become the most valuable technology ever created or the most dangerous. That's why governments around the world are now watching artificial intelligence more closely than ever before, because this race is no longer just about money, it's about power, influence, and the future of civilization itself. But here is the biggest surprise. Despite billions of dollars, thousands of engineers, and fierce competition, OpenAI's greatest challenge may not come from Google, Meta, or Elon Musk. It may come from something far more difficult: living up to its own mission, creating powerful AI without losing control. And that is exactly what will decide whether OpenAI becomes the greatest technology company in human history or one of its biggest failures. The story of OpenAI is not really about artificial intelligence, it's about human ambition. Just a few years ago, OpenAI was a small research lab with an impossible dream. Today, it stands at the center of the biggest technological revolution. Since the internet, its technology, it's already helping millions of people write, learn, code, research, and build businesses. But at the same time, it's also forcing millions of workers to ask one uncomfortable question: will AI replace me? Or will it help me become better than I have ever been? History teaches us that every great invention changed the world. Electricity did, the internet did, the smartphone did, artificial intelligence may become even bigger. The companies leading this race to the would not just build software, they could define how humanity works, learn, creates, and even thinks for generations to come. And perhaps that's why OpenAI is no longer just another startup, it's a company trying to build the future itself. Whether that future becomes our greatest achievement or our biggest mistake depends not only on OpenAI but on all of us, because the AI revolution has already begun. The only question left is who will lead it and who will be left behind. If you enjoyed that documentary, subscribe to Alvin Insights, where we uncover the hidden strategies, the untold stories, and the billion-dollar decision behind the world's most powerful companies. Because behind every trillion-dollar empire, there is always a story that most people never hear. Thank you.